So last Sunday, my family had one of our regular get-togethers at my parents' house. As always, everyone was assigned a dish to bring, and Uncle Joe was in charge of the main course. Now, Uncle Joe has always been a bit of an eccentric character. He's the kind of guy who once tried to convince us that he invented a new language, which turned out to be Pig Latin. Nevertheless, we all love him dearly, so when he announced he'd mastered the art of invisible cooking, we were intrigued and, admittedly, a little concerned. As the day went on, we gathered in the kitchen, drinks in hand, watching Uncle Joe as he orchestrated his culinary magic. With the stove set to an unassuming 0, he began gesticulating wildly, waving his hands over empty pots and pans like some culinary wizard. We exchanged amused glances, whispering bets on whether he'd actually reveal anything edible or if this was just another one of his peculiar performances. Occasionally, he'd pause to sniff the air, nodding in satisfaction as if sampling an aromatic bouquet of flavors. After an hour of this bizarre ritual, the room began to fill with a light haze. Uncle Joe, with a chef's flourish, declared that the main course was almost ready. By then, the rest of us were struggling to suppress our laughter, holding on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, there was some method to his madness. At last, he lifted an imaginary lid with great ceremony, and a plume of smoke wafted through the kitchen. "Voila!" he exclaimed, gesturing grandly as if revealing a masterpiece. It was at this point that we realized Uncle Joe had spent the entire afternoon burning nothing but air. "Uncle Joe," I said, trying to sound serious while stifling a giggle, "you've really outdone yourself this time." He grinned, clearly pleased with himself, and replied, "Well, you know what they say, where there's smoke, there's, well, just more smoke." And with that, we all burst into laughter, knowing we'd just witnessed his most memorable culinary feat yet.